Hello everybody, Uniquely Lady Charlotte. I know my face looking all sweaty and stuff. Cause I'm sweating. I worked hard today, I earned it. I've driven buses today. I've done desk work today. I've gone out and rescued today. It's been rainy all day. It's been a struggle, but I stayed in the game. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys something that happened to my youngest daughter, Uniquely Lady Baby. This happened a few days ago, and I still don't know what she's going to do about it. I mean, she's done something about it, but I don't know if she's going to escalate it any further. But the story I'm going to tell you, it's not a story. I mean, it's not a story. It actually happened. What I'm going to tell you can be taken on two levels, okay? So I want you to figure out what two levels I'm talking about. Then if you don't figure it out, then I'll tell you, okay? All right, so Uniquely Lady Baby, she used to work at a pharmacy at a large retail store. And in this pharmacy, there was a lady that just did not like her. It's like every time she say something or speak to someone else, the lady would just jump in. We're going to call this lady Ann. Ann would just jump in. And Ann was just very rude to my daughter. And my daughter said she was trying to respect the elders by not, meeting her with that same energy. Which I understand. I appreciate that. But she said for some reason this lady just did not like her. And she don't know why. Now, Uniquely Lady Baby and my middle daughter that's no longer with us, Uniquely Lady Shin Shin, they are very popular. When I say popular, they're very popular because they have excellent manners. They're very ladylike. Everybody likes them. They're funny, all that. My oldest daughter, Uniquely Lady Candy Cane, she tends to stay to herself. She's funny, but she's more of a homebody. She's always been that type of kid. She didn't get out and rake and run the streets, as my grandma said. Even when I tried to push her out the door to get her a slice of life, she didn't want to do that. Heck, she wanted me to go with her and her friend guy that invited her to the prom. She wanted me to go to the hotel room with him as a buffer. Anyway, I had to end up going to get her. She didn't want to stay. Anyway. All right, so I explained to Uniquely Lady Baby that sometimes no matter what you do to try to appease a person, they're just not going to like you. And you can't make them like you. Okay? Everybody's not going to like you. And sometimes people are jealous of your light. They're jealous of that thing that you have that they don't have. I'm not talking about material possessions. I'm talking about that light inside of you. That loving light. And sometimes they hate when people gravitate toward you. I've been in positions like that. I don't know if y'all remember when I was working at the trucking company a little over 5 years ago. And I cried every day going to work. Because, I literally cried in the car and prayed and cried. Because I hated that job so much. So much. That's a whole different story. But he didn't like my light. Okay? Everybody would come and talk to me. They would come to my office and talk to me. But I would be the one getting in trouble. And I'm not even doing anything. I'm sitting at my desk, and I had to tell him that one day. I want you to look around this room. Where am I at? And he's like, in your office. I said, where's everybody else? Right here in your office. So why are you fussing at me? Why are you not telling them to go back to their office? You telling me I can't be talking. And he wouldn't let me pick on the computer, the keyboards. I couldn't do nothing. But God bless me. I just had to be quiet. I cried every day, but I just had to be quiet. I did it for 6 months. But that did teach me. Since I couldn't talk for 6 months to nobody on the job, it was really harassment. But now I can go to this job and not talk. Not talk at all. I can go there and not talk for 8 hours if I don't want to. And it don't bother me. It used to bother me when I couldn't talk. But anyway, going back to Uniquely Lady Baby. So she went into the store and she was going to pick up her medication. And she saw the lady, and the lady saw her. So Ann says to her, she sees that Uniquely Lady Baby had some surgery, and she's on crutches. Because remember I told you she had knee surgery. So the lady comes up to her and does that whole fake nasty thing. You know, you're nice, but you're nasty. You're nicey. She's doing that with Kiana. And Kiana holding it in the road, still trying to be respectful. The lady was just poking the bear, saying all kind of stuff. And my daughter said she was getting upset. She said, but she was also in awe that this lady was doing her like this for no reason at all. None. I said, well, that's how it happens. So, now, let me pause and stop right there. Uniquely Lady Baby just received, to her, it's one of the biggest honors around. And I'm happy for her. She's been going back to church, and she's done gotten back into church. Her father's a bishop, but she's gotten back into the church, and a different church. But she goes to Bible study, and she's just on fire for the Lord right now. And I'm so happy about that. She's just on fire. And so she got an invitation from a youth group. She's 27. She'll be 28 soon. But she got an invitation from a youth ministry at the church. And they asked her to join. And she's so excited because they extended the invitation to her. I'm excited. I said because that just means that they've been watching you and they like what you give and what you bring, you know, to people. And so she's just been cheesing, right? All right. Now, going back to the story. So she said the lady was just taking jabs at her, just taking shots at her. And she was like, okay, let me just get away from this lady. So she parts ways. She walk around the store for a little bit until it's time for her to go pick up her medication. Mind you, Ann works in the pharmacy. Remember, that's how she knows Ann. Ann works in the pharmacy. So, Uniquely Lady Baby, she goes to pick up her medication. She goes home. She takes the medication out the bag. All right, so there are 3 medicines, and they're all for asthma. Okay, asthma medications, maintenance medications. All right, so she says she got her for her asthma. I don't know what she takes, but she takes 20 milligrams total in a day, but it's 10 and 10. She's supposed to take it twice a day, but she says she don't take it twice a day because she forgets to take it the second time, right? So she said, but what she does is she'll take both pills and take them at the one time, the 20 milligrams. It might be singular. So that's what I have to do. I just take mine at the same time. All right, so she put them in her hand. After she took them out the box, she put them in the hand, and they were in the manufacturer's box. She explained to me that, okay, she gets 60 count. She explained to me that when you work in the pharmacy, and if the box has 60 that come in the box, and your prescription calls for 60 tablets, then they don't take it out the manufacturer's box. They give you the manufacturer's box. She said, but if sometimes they have to break the box down, like maybe you only get 30 tablets, then they would have to take the medicine out of the manufacturer's box and put them in a pill bottle. All right, so she said then that's what the pharmacy tech does, and then the pharmacist checks it with some type of little wand gun or something, just to make sure you got the right medication. All right? Well, she got ready to throw them in her mouth. And she said something told her to look at the box. So she looked at the box, the sticky label, you know, the label that has your name and stuff on it. It had her name on it. It had her name, it had her address, it had all the correct stuff. All the correct stuff. And what the medicine was. Well, she said something also told her, it couldn't be nobody but God, told her to peel the label off. She peeled the label off. It came off easy. You know, normally when you try to peel them labels off, you tear the whole box up. You done took all the words off of it and everything. So, but she peeled off the label, and come to find out, it wasn't her asthma medication. So, I got it wrote down. I can tell you what it was. So, this is what she takes for one of her medications, anti-inflammatory, and it's for asthma. It's called Zarflucas, or Zarflucas. I'm not saying it right, but that's what she takes, Zarflucas. She takes the label off the box, and she was going to take them 2 pills. She takes the label, but good thing she read it. she read the box, and the name on the box was Ziprasidone, which is an antipsychotic medication, 10 milligrams. But she was going to take 2, and that would give her 20 milligrams. Ziprasidone is spelled Ziprasidone. Ziprasidone. It has so many horrible side effects. So many. She called me and she was so upset. And then I was upset. It's like, could this lady really be that grimy? Could Ann really be that grimy? Or is it a spiritual warfare attack? Because she's been called to work in this ministry. And she's got God has great things planned for her life. Or could this woman be that grimy? And she don't like my daughter that much that you would give her the wrong medication. I said, she said, Mama, I don't see how she was able to give me the wrong medication. She said, because they have a process that the pharmacy tech fills it. Then the pharmacist has to look at it. And then, I guess an approval or sign off on it, I don't know. She said, but then they have a wand or some type of wand gun where they got to zip it and it tells you if that's the right medicine. I said, okay. I said, well, somehow she got around it and got around it. So she said, let me think. She said, I think I know what she did. Instead of her ringing up, zapping each item with the gun, she zapped one 3 times. She said, Mama, that's the way she did it. So she called another one of her friends that's a pharmacy tech at another place, Walgreens. She called over there. She called that lady and talked to her. And she said, yeah, that was the only way she could have got that past the pharmacy tech. She zapped it 3 times to make it look like you had all your medicine. And the pharmacist signed off on it. Okay. And like I said, the right label was put on the wrong box. But that's crazy. They both start with a Z. Like I said, it was Ziprasidone, which is an antipsychotic, and Zafirlukast, which is an anti-inflammatory medication for asthma. So I said, okay. I said, what you're going to do is you're going to take that bag back with that medicine in it. You're not going to take any of it. I said, because I'm just saying, if she did something like that, if she was that grimy, she might have got you somewhere else in the bag. So you take that whole bag back and don't open or take anything. She said, yeah, I'm going to take it back right now. All right. She takes it back. Well, at the time, we didn't know that Ann had done it. So she takes it back, and she has to speak to the pharmacist manager. And she explained to him what happened. She said she didn't like she didn't like how he was handling the situation. She said he was laughing, chuckling it off. But he was like, oh, let me see who I got to fire. Because he knows my daughter. And he knows she used to work there because she used to work under him. Well, she said all the other pharmacy techs were standing in there and they all looked scared. And like, okay, this is real serious. And it is real serious. Because what if somebody would have got that medicine that took a bunch of other medicines, A heart attack. You already taken medicine for a previous heart attack, and then you take that, and it mixed. And then you don't have, whatever going on. You don't have a chemical imbalance. You don't have whatever's going on, and you take that medicine. There ain't no telling what would have happened. She might have taken a trip and never came back. You never know. Then that way she wouldn't have been able to do the ministry, and she wouldn't have been able to do other things in her life. So anyway, she take it back, and he says it before he realized it. Oh, Ann filled this medication. Remember, Ann is the lady she was talking to that don't like her for some odd reason. She said she just got a knot in the pit of her stomach when she realized that Ann had filled that medication. I said, okay. So she said he just kind of laughed it off, and then Ann came in the door. She was coming back from lunch break. So she checked back into the pharmacy, and right when he said, oh, Ann did this, she said, what? Why y'all calling my name? And then he said, oh, blank, got the wrong medication. You put the wrong medication in the bag, or filled the wrong medication. This is not her medication. And she said, Ann just said, oh, okay, and walked away. That's why we think it's a setup. That's why we feel the way we feel. So she decided to have her medicines transferred that night to where her friend works, the other pharmacy tech works. So they transferred her medication. I said, God, she didn't get you this time, but that's not to say she won't get you next time. So that's what happened. So she said she was going to talk to the store manager, but knowing my daughter, she probably just didn't. She just roughed it off. But I'm thinking, you could really mess somebody up if you, as a pharmacy tech, if you grimy. You know, I'm sure, you know, I'm not saying that people are just out doing that, but they're in a position to do something if they want to, like anybody else, depending on what your job is. But she's in a position to do anything, because to me it takes a I don't know, it just takes too much skill to be able to print out the right label but pick up the wrong box. I don't know. Then it could have been a mistake. I don't know. We don't know, but we think she did it on purpose. And she's been there over 12 years, so she's a senior pharmacy tech. Senior pharmacy tech. And you're making mistakes like that. I mean, I'm not saying they're perfect, but PSA, check your medicines. Check your medicines. Make sure your labels and boxes match if you're getting them in boxes too. Make sure your medicine is your medicine. Let's not leave it to chance. Let's not leave it to somebody else to check out for us. If you got aunties and grandma and granddaddy, vision bad, you know, failing them, read that medication on that label for them. Somebody's got to advocate for them. Somebody has to advocate for them, since they can't advocate for themselves. Same thing when your children are taking medicine, you got to go pick up from the pharmacy. I mean, I can imagine they get busy. They, you know, tired or whatever. You better really check your medication. Make sure it is what it is. Well, that's all I wanted to tell y'all. So I'm going to go and I'm going to ride in silence, get my thoughts together. You know, when you get off work, you got to ride in silence. I don't listen to the radio, really. Sometimes I listen to the radio, not very often. So I'm going to be alone with my thoughts. All right, so I'm going to go. But I'll talk to y'all later, okay?